Is Zach LaVine Chicago's past or San Antonio's future? The trade rumor that's shaking up the NBA. From All-Star to Alamo, we're breaking down the buzz that could change two franchises forever. Bulls fans, Spurs Nation, you won't want to miss this. Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. We've got you covered with breaking news, trade rumors, and in-depth analysis of everything Bulls. From United Center to the front office, we're bringing you the inside scoop. Hit subscribe and let's talk Bulls basketball. Today we're diving into some juicy trade rumors swirling around the Windy City. That's right, we're talking about the Chicago Bulls and their star shooting guard, Zach LaVine. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest NBA news and analysis. Let's jump right in. The rumor mill is churning, folks, and this time it's spitting out some interesting speculation about a potential trade between the Chicago Bulls and the San Antonio Spurs. The word on the street is that the Bulls might be looking to move Zach LaVine, and the Spurs' Keldon Johnson could be heading to Chicago in return. But is there any truth to this buzz, or is it just another case of NBA fans playing fantasy GM? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about Zach LaVine. The two-time All-Star has been a cornerstone of the Bulls' offense since he arrived in Chicago back in 2017. With his explosive scoring ability and improved playmaking skills, LaVine has become one of the most dynamic guards in the league. This season, he's averaging 24.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game, shooting a solid 48% from the field and 37% from beyond the arc. But here's the thing, despite LaVine's individual brilliance, the Bulls have struggled to find consistent success. They've made the playoffs just once in the last 6 seasons, and this year, they're hovering around .500, fighting for a play-in spot in the Eastern Conference. This has led to speculation that the Bulls might be looking to shake things up and potentially move on from LaVine while his value is still high. Now, let's shift our focus to the other side of this rumored deal, Keldon Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs. Johnson, a 6'5" forward, has been steadily improving since being drafted 29th overall in 2019. This season, he's putting up career-high numbers, averaging 18 points and 6 rebounds per game. At just 23 years old, Johnson represents the kind of young, high-upside player that rebuilding teams covet. So, why would this trade make sense for both teams? Let's start with the Bulls. Chicago has been in a state of flux for a while now. They've got a mix of veterans like DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic alongside younger talents like Patrick Williams and Kobe White. But the team has struggled to find an identity and consistently compete at a high level. Trading LaVine for Johnson could signal a shift towards a more youth-oriented rebuild. Johnson is 4 years younger than LaVine and on a much more team-friendly contract. He's shown the potential to be a two-way force with his strong frame and improving offensive game. For a Bulls team that might be looking to reset and build around a younger core, Johnson could be an intriguing piece to pair with Williams and White. Moreover, moving LaVine's max contract could give the Bulls more financial flexibility moving forward. It would allow them to potentially pursue other free agents or accumulate assets as they reshape their roster. On the flip side, why would the Spurs be interested in this deal? San Antonio is in the midst of a full-blown rebuild. They're likely to land a top pick in this year's draft, possibly even the coveted Victor Wembanyama. Adding a proven star like LaVine to pair with their young talent could accelerate their timeline and give them a go-to scorer to build around. LaVine's ability to create his own shot and space the floor would be valuable for any young team, but especially one that might be featuring a dominant big man like Wembanyama. His experience could also be beneficial for the Spurs' young core, providing a veteran presence who's still in his prime. But let's pump the brakes for a second. While this trade might make sense on paper, there are several factors that could prevent it from happening. First and foremost, LaVine just signed a 5-year, $215 million max contract with the Bulls last offseason. It's rare for teams to trade players so soon after signing them to long-term deals. Not only does it send a bad message to other players and agents, but it also limits the trade market as many teams are hesitant to take on such a large, long-term commitment. Secondly, while Johnson is a promising young player, he's not quite at the all-star level that LaVine has achieved. The Bulls would likely want more in return for their star guard, possibly including draft picks or additional young talent. The Spurs, deep in their rebuild, might be hesitant to part with too many future assets. There's also the question of fit. While LaVine would undoubtedly boost the Spurs' offense, head coach Greg Popovich has always emphasized a team-first approach and strong defensive principles. LaVine, for all his offensive talents, has never been known as a lockdown defender. Would Pop be willing to adjust his system to accommodate LaVine's strengths and weaknesses? On the Bulls' side, they'd be losing their best shot creator and taking a significant step back in terms of immediate competitiveness. While this might be acceptable if they're committed to a rebuild, it's not clear if that's the direction the front office wants to go, especially with DeRozan and Vucevic still on the roster. Let's not forget the human element in all of this. LaVine has been in Chicago for 6 years now. He's put down roots in the community and has repeatedly expressed his commitment to bringing success to the Bulls. Trading him could potentially damage the team's relationship with fans and other players. So, what's the verdict? Is this trade likely to happen? In my opinion, while it's an interesting idea, I'd say the chances of this exact trade going down are pretty slim. However, it does raise some interesting questions about both teams' futures. For the Bulls, this rumor highlights the crossroads they find themselves at. Do they continue to retool around LaVine and DeRozan, hoping that better health and a few tweaks can vault them into contention? Or do they decide to tear it down and start over, potentially moving stars like LaVine for younger talent and draft picks? As for the Spurs, this rumor suggests that they might be looking to accelerate their rebuild by adding established talent to their young core. Whether it's LaVine or another star, don't be surprised if San Antonio starts to get aggressive in the trade market as they look to complement their draft picks with proven NBA talent. One thing's for sure, both these teams will be fascinating to watch as we approach the trade deadline and beyond. The decisions they make in the coming months could shape the direction of their franchises for years to come. But what do you think? Would you like to see Zach LaVine in a Spurs jersey? Do you think the Bulls should consider moving him, or should they keep their core together? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your NBA-loving friends. Don't forget to subscribe to Hoops Insider for more trade rumors, analysis, and all things NBA. Until next time, keep balling.